For more on this, New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, the House Republican Conference Chair. Congresswoman, thanks for being here.
Great to be with you, Brett.
You know, you see that front page of the New York Post, and you see these business leaders reaching out saying, help us. I mean, it's real for these communities, and they've been dealing with it for some time.
Well, let's take a step back, Brett. This is a crisis of the Democrats' making. We've seen a historic surge at not only our southern border, but at our northern border as well. Over 5.8 illegal crossings since Joe Biden took office. And New York, including the governor, Governor Hochul, and Mayor Eric Adams, welcomed illegal migrants into New York State and into New York City. And now they're reaping the crises that have been created and the havoc this is causing. Not only do we not have the resources to pay for this, but 82% of New Yorkers say this is a serious issue in New York State. My colleague on Staten, Nicole Maliotakis, you just saw the footage, Brett. This is very serious. They're being housed in our schools. Our health care facilities are getting overrun. We need to secure the border. House Republicans have done that, passing the strongest secure the border package in our nation's history, and yet Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden failed to act.
You mentioned that 82%. That comes from Siena College poll. 82% of New Yorkers call recent influx of migrants a serious problem. 51% disapprove of Governor Hochul's job addressing the influx. You know, we talk about immigration, and oftentimes it's used as a cudgel by both parties as a political issue. Republicans have done it many times. Is there a way to come to something around the edges that deals with this problem directly now?
And we have. House Republicans have, Brett. As you recall, we passed H.R. 2. It's the border security package. And we believe we need to secure the border to stem this crisis. And then we fix our broken legal immigration system. As one of the constituents from Staten Island said, this is not opposition to legal immigration. It's opposition to illegal immigration. We need to be a country based upon the rule of law. House Republicans have done this. We know what a secure border looks like. And those were the very effective policies of the previous administration. And those were many of the policies that we included in our bill.
Yeah, but the problem is, Congresswoman, you don't have any Democrats signed on to that bill.
And isn't that a shame? Isn't that shameful?
I mean,
now you see they're back. They need to show courage, and they need to show a political spine to say that this is a border crisis. Joe Biden's policies are not working. Our policies have caused this, and actually work with us to secure the border. That bill was on the floor. It's pretty telling that every single Democrat voted against it. And this issue in New York State, when we talk about all states are a border state, all communities are a border community, the vast majority of these illegal immigrants are coming across our southern border, and yet we're talking about New York City. They're trying to transfer these to upstate New York. It has been a disaster, and Republicans who stood strong against that were smeared by Democrats. Now you see Democrats backpedaling.
For those governors who moved migrants from the border and transferred them to different cities, including New York, at the time it was criticized as being a political stunt. Now they are feeling the effects and actually turning the tide here.
They are feeling the effects because not only do they see the polling, but we don't have the fiscal resources. New York is a state that's on the trajectory towards bankruptcy, and we don't have the resources. And what's really interesting is that this has impacted the rule of law. This has impacted real people's lives. Kathy Hochul, under her leadership and Mayor Adams, they transferred illegal immigrants to Erie County in western New York. There were 2 very high-profile incidences of vicious rapes. And now you see the Democrat county executive say he doesn't want illegal immigrants anymore when he welcomed them into the community. So this is very much tied into the crime crisis that we saw in New York State. And voters of all political affiliations know that this is not working, and it's a crisis that Hochul, Mayor Adams, and most importantly, Joe Biden created.
Republicans, speaking of politics, turned a number of districts in New York in 2022. If you look at the map, it's pretty red. Is the hope that it's going to stay that way in this current cycle because potentially of this issue?
We're going to run and we're going to win. And you see that it's not just Republican supporters who are earning votes. It's independents and Democrats who have seen the failure of single-party Democrat rule. Yes, we flipped those 5 districts in New York State. We are in a strong position to hold them and flip more districts because New York State has failed and Joe Biden has failed. And this ties into the crime crisis, as I talked about. You saw the polling. 82% of New Yorkers don't approve of, or they believe it's a serious issue, and over 50% disapprove of how New York State has handled that. So they're going to make their voices heard at the ballot box.
Congresswoman Stefanik, we appreciate your time.
Thank you, Brett.
Dana.